morning from eNCA's Money Desk. Now, as some South Africans rush out to find a Springbok rugby shirt or a spot at their favourite hangout to watch the final over the weekend, the economy could get a welcome and much-needed boost. Now, for more on this, we speak to Hugo Pienaar, Chief Economist at the Bureau for Economic Research. Hugo, thank you so much for joining us this morning. What type of economic contributions can we expect from, let's call it, Bok fever this year?
Well, Melissa, I think we've already seen it in the lead up to the Rugby World Cup. So the data is somewhat dated, but we have retail sales numbers from Statistics South Africa for August already. So, of course, this was the month before the start of the World Cup. And if you look at the detail of those numbers, the specific categories, we had a very strong month-on-month increase of 2% in real terms in the clothing and footwear subdivision of retail sales, whereas the overall number for retail was only up by 0.2%. So there was certainly something happening in that retail category, in the clothing category in August, and we think very much that has to do with merchandise sales relating to the World Cup. So I think we probably saw more of that in September and October.
And this also creates jobs, albeit maybe more temporary jobs.
Yeah, I was thinking about this. I'm not so sure necessarily about jobs, but I think certainly it creates additional income opportunities. So think of the many thousands of street vendors scattered all over the country. And besides the normal merchandise that these folks are selling, they are of course now selling Springbok jerseys, South African and Springbok flags, and other Springbok related merchandise. So I certainly think since August, these people would have received an additional boost in terms of their monthly income, which of course would have been most welcome.
Now, Hugo, how can and should we capitalize more on these types of events? Not only, obviously, to boost morale in the country, but also the economy. Is there a way to harness this to really boost us a bit more long term?
So, Melissa, if I may be a bit philosophical, I think the Springboks are a shining example of the excellence that as a country we can achieve if we combine the imperative of transformation with meritocracy, creative thinking, and sound leadership. So I think there's so much talent across all walks of life in South Africa that just needs to be harnessed. And I think the Springboks are showing us the way in terms of how we can do that.
Thanks so much for your time, Hugo. We'll wait for the data for next month to see what the contribution was from the Springboks. That was Hugo Pienaar, Chief Economist at the Bureau for Economic Research.